Hi everyone, welcome to a Pirate in Training video, the first proper update for a while now. I made two silly kind of mini updates while I've been what's coming up next, and then never did anything, simply because my mind is not in the right place at the moment. There is so much going on, which I'm going to break down some of, and then we'll see where we go from this. This might be a long one, so I apologise. So at this moment in time, as you know, because of my ill health, I was let go by my employer, London Underground, because of which, because of the circumstances behind it, I qualify for access to my pension, for want of a better description. Now, I was released by Transport for London a couple of months ago now, close to 10 weeks ago, and they still haven't sorted out the pension. Bearing in mind that obviously I have no income at the moment, and with things like this, everything that you would kind of apply for takes a minimum of about 11 weeks to sort out. So financially, I'm in a very, very stressful situation. But moving on from that, I've just had a real lack of not wanting to, because I've been recording stuff. I recorded stuff on the holiday, which I'll talk about in just a moment. I recorded stuff on my birthday when we went to the beach. It's not that I haven't been capturing it, it's just that I haven't had the confidence to kind of think that anyone gives a shit about watching it, which is ridiculous, because I had almost 10,000 views on the videos that I've put out so far. I have really positive feedback, so it's a stupid frame of mind, but it's still a frame of mind that I'm in. So I'm kind of dealing with that as best I can. So I thought I'd force myself, come outside, enjoy one of the last great days of a British summer, which in this case has been ridiculously hot, in between horrible rain showers. But anyway, it's kind of how British summers go if you're not au fait with it. With regards to the leg, I'm on version 2 of the zombie leg, which you'll see in just a moment. Basically, I had a 3D cast made of my stump, non-footed leg for the PC bunch, and essentially they made me a new socket. Now this is the old socket, which looks pretty gargantuan now looking at it. So this was the original one that I had when I actually had the surgery, which was a lot more green. It's gone kind of a weird yellow colour, but that's how that is at the moment. And then I've got my new one now, which is a lot greener, but again, I'll shoot a video of me taking that on and off. I was really struggling on my old socket. I was wearing 7-8 thick socks. Again, not to break it down, it's 3 socks per thick sock, essentially. Incredibly hard on my actual stump, hard on the area. I was getting. I actually wore a hole in my shin at one point. So me moving around was really dangerous, and really got me worried, because I just thought, oh god, here we go again, I'm going to get infected, so on and so forth. So the old kind of mindset crept in there. I've had the actual new socket since Thursday. It's now Saturday, so a couple of days. It walks great. I certainly feel a lot more stable on it, but it's way more painful than my old socket at the moment. And you got to bear in mind, my stump has changed shape so much since initially getting that socket, and now it's kind of being, whereas there's points like your feet, there's points in a pair of shoes which will wear more, which will become calloused, or will just be more hard wearing because it's always in that shape. Well, the same goes for prosthetics. So essentially I'm wearing in a new leg. They've changed the liner over that. I'm on a gel liner, which a lot of below knee amputees don't have, so I've been told. It's usually for through knee and above knee. It's very thick. It's like a gel condom, I suppose is the best way of describing it, that goes over your leg. Again, I'll show you a video of that. And it stops the rubs, so I've had absolutely no rubs whatsoever. It spreads the load out in weird ways, so I actually feel way more pressure using this, but the benefits are I'm not rubbing holes in my shin, so it's worth the kind of added pain issue with that. So I suppose what's been going on with the family, so we went to Dorset for a camping holiday with friends of ours, Carrie, Jason, their 2 kids, Sam and Alex. We all went, we had an amazing time, really fun. The weather was incredible. It rained for like 30 seconds, literally a couple of hours after we got there, and we were like, oh god. But then it was glorious sunshine the entire way through.
Are you filming?
Yes.
We are on a boat.
To
The campsite.
which is
Where? Llama Farmer. Where?
oh Travis.
Oh, he's in there.
3.4 actually.
Where is it? On the left? Here. There you go. Yeah?
Oh look, there's no okay.
Lower.
Right. Nights were very cold. I mean, like stupid cold. And I generally don't feel the cold at all. I'll sleep with no covers on whatsoever, even in winter time. But this was like, oh shit, grab everything that was warm. Where are we going?
Tank Museum.
And then what?
We're gonna look for some sea.
What a sea!
I bought a headlamp so I could see the ocean. See the ocean.
I did too.
So this time around it was really interesting. A, to see how I would react to it, and B, just to see how getting around on a prosthetic in a campsite is. Because you're walking on it a lot more, because you just don't have the comfort, you don't have sofas there, although we have chairs. There's a lot to do, especially when you've got, there's 9 of us in essence, the entire party, so you know, there's a lot of things to do, the cooking and making sure the fire's going okay, and sorting out the campsite and so on and so forth. So it was interesting, and it was pretty much, apart from a couple of things, really, really positive. I managed to get around really well on the beach. In the sand I did okay. Any sort of incline or decline in sand is very, very bad for prosthetics, just because of the grip issues and having to force your way through. The one thing I will say about the old socket versus the new socket, if I was wearing the new socket I would have found it a lot harder, because this goes up the knee more, so actually going ascending or descending is far harder, because I don't have as much kind of mobility in my knee. So that's something I've got to maybe address with the prosthetist, but again for another time. Rough terrain I've been okay with, simply because I've got a Veriflex ankle, so the actual prosthetic will move side to side, which obviously aids over rougher ground. But yeah, nighttime was a bit rough, because obviously you're taking your leg off, you're on the ground. It's not the most comfortable way of doing things, but it beats the way it was before, so I can't take anything other than positives away from it. We absolutely love the trip, and know we'll be going again. We've got a list an arm long when we actually have money again, then we're going to be kind of upgrading our camp rig, and we're definitely going to be going back to the farm that we went to. It was actually a llama farm, which was really cool. But the setting was beautiful. The nights, it was incredible how dark it got really quickly. But just because it was an exposed location, how incredible the night sky was. I mean, we could see literally every star in the sky. I got like a very short video of the moon before Travis knocked my tripod over, and managed to get a few snippets here or there. But to take a telescope there would be absolutely incredible. And it was just amazing to have family time without the need of any electrical devices. I mean, my phone was off literally the entire trip. Camera was rolling, although I wished I got more footage, but then again, we had so many really nice family moments that it just didn't feel right. We went to the Tank Museum, which was incredible. Funny because I think half the people at the Tank Museum thought I was some sort of war veteran that had his like leg blown off with an IED. So I got like, and because it's like green as well, like the army colours, so there was a lot of like families like kind of like respect and yeah, you know, thank you for your service. And I was like, no. Just asked for it to be chopped off.
Disrupt his communications, etc. The Sutton is given a bit more punch. It has the same 76mm gun that was later adopted on the Scorpion.
It's huge.
But no, the tanks were incredible. We saw an outside manoeuvre, so they brought out various different tanks, and I thought the tanks were massive until they brought out the real, I think it was a Leopard tank, I'm pretty sure, and it fired a round off and scared the absolute bejesus out of all of us.
In their vast experience of the Second World War.
Oh
There's the bang.
God! No warning. That's pretty much it. Things that I've got coming up, I've got my 9-month review through the hospital, and I'm going to be trying to capture more stuff. I'm going to go through a bit more in depth with the new socket in the next video, and then I'm going to be I think I'm going to be documenting the kind of trying to build up strength and mobility, because I've been letting that slide a little bit and I'm really conscious I need to get back on that to get my mobility. So Kate, Physio Goddess, apologies. I am getting back in touch with my physical side. And also shave my head stupidly after being in the sun for way too long and getting ridiculously burnt. So it's kind of weird. I've got this like really brown ring and then pure white, but I almost shaved my beard off as well, which I'm still contemplating. So yeah or nay, just put it in the comments and we'll deal with it accordingly. I did want to touch on one last thing before I go. I got a comment from a guy who it seemed he was just trying to spark a reaction. Now initially it made me laugh that someone was just going out of their way. I mean, it's YouTube at the end of the day, so there are dickheads everywhere, and I generally don't give two shits what people's opinions are. And to be honest with you, I honestly did not give a shit about what this guy said, but it intrigued me as to why he went out of his way. So I did a little bit of digging, went on his profile, had a look at some of his videos, and one of his videos really touched home to me. It was really talking about hate and how to deal with it positively. We had a little exchange, and he tried to make out that I was lazy and putting my family first, even though he knew literally nothing about me, and if he did, he wouldn't say something like that. If you knew the sort of things I'd done to keep my family clothed, watered, so on and so forth. I'm not sure many people would actively work 8 to 10 hours a day with their fifth metatarsal hanging out of their foot, bone on shoe, essentially. But I digress. And again, this is what my whole point about this. Even me, who deals with stuff like this, really takes it in their stride. It really does not bother me. And my response was him simply, I think if the person who made that video about being against hate and everything else saw the response that you gave me, would he be happy with that? Is that who you've been all along, or is this something that you've suddenly manifested and you're just having a bad day, so on and so forth? Obviously he didn't reply. He tried to make out he was an amputee, but by looking at his profile, couldn't find that. Then saw that he was really into right-wing media like Larry Crowder and Ben Shapiro and stuff like that, which I am too. Although I'm not right-wing, I am actually quite, I'm centralist to left. But I'm a firm believer in looking at all aspects of news, not just staying in my lane, but seeing what everyone else kind of thinks. I think it's a very important thing to remember. But anyway, it seems that I do comment quite a bit on Larry Crowder, and it seems that he picked me up from there, then did like a deep dive on my account, and then decided to chirp up. So that made me laugh even more. But I see it time and time again, especially with people that have amputees or are documenting their journeys of like medical problems or illness or anything. They usually react really weirdly to people criticising them. They feel that they have this moral responsibility to just explain every microscopic detail about their plight or about their experiences. And by all means, if you're making videos about that, that's great. But don't feel the need that you have to explain yourself to people. You are doing this for you, or you're doing this for whatever reasons. No one can take that away from you. It just makes me kind of laugh in a way, but also it makes me feel really bad for people that feel they have to explain their reasoning behind why they're doing what they're doing. I'm doing this because I think it's good to spread kind of knowledge and discussion about various things regarding my experience, my amputation, my recovery process. Because I get a lot of shit, or have got a lot of shit, from other amputees who see me as a lesser person. Because I chose this, and B, it's a below knee, which is like the lowest rung of the totem pole. But they only have the experience of their amputation, so just because it's a little bit higher up doesn't mean it's any easier or harder. Yes, the mechanics of it are, but I've seen both. I've seen people that have had below knees that are absolutely struggling and had a horrible time, and I've seen guys with double through knees or above knees and got on really, really well and took it in their stride, for one of a better description. So, anyway, don't take it personally. It's not personal. It's just someone either A, trying to get a reaction, B, they've taken some issue because they don't like what you have to say, but that's part of life. Live it. Do what you want. And on that note, anyway, I will end this proper-ish video. Next time, hopefully it'll be a little bit better, but who knows, this might have been good as well. So give us a thumbs up, thumbs down, give us a subscription if you want to. Until next time, I'm Jay. I'll see you then. Bye.